The Three Languages of Destiny, Chapter 1. The wrath of the old count. Than 1,000 years ago, when Europe was still covered with impenetrable forests, and the boundaries between the world of men and the world of magic were as thin as a spider's web, there lived a very wealthy and powerful count in an ancient kingdom. His name was known from the northern seas to the southern mountains. He possessed castles, gold mines, and thousands of subjects, but his heart was filled with bitterness. His only son and heir, young Bruno, was strong and handsome in appearance, but his father considered him stupid because the boy was not interested in wars, politics, or trade. Bruno was quiet, often staring into nature, which caused rage in his ambitious father. One day the count summoned his son and said, "Listen to me well, you wretch. I have tried everything, but nothing enters that head of yours. I will not allow my inheritance to go to someone who does not know how to rule. I will send you to a celebrated master in a distant city, and we shall see what he can make of you." Bruno was sent far away, where he spent a whole year with the first master. When he returned home, his father, full of hope, asked him, "Tell me now, my son, what have you learned during this expensive year?" Bruno looked at him calmly and replied, "Father, I have learned what the dogs say when they bark." The count turned pale with rage. "Lord, have mercy on us. Is that what I spent the gold on? I will send you to another master in an even more distant city." Another year passed. When Bruno returned for the second time, his father met him at the very entrance. "What have you learned this time, father?" "I have learned what the birds say as they sing in the dawn." The old count began to shout so loudly that the castle windows trembled. "You are a lost man. You are wasting my youth and my fortune on nonsense. I give you one last chance. If you do not learn something useful by the 3rd year, I will no longer recognize you as my own blood." The 3rd time, Bruno went to a hermit in the mountains. When he returned after the 3rd year to his father's question, he answered, "Dear father, this year I have learned what the frogs croak in the pond." Then the count saw black before his eyes. He sprang up, called his most cruel servants, and commanded, "This man is no longer my son. Take him deep into the dark forest and kill him. Bring me his heart as proof that the world is freed from this shame." The servants led Bruno into the heart of the forest, but when they were supposed to draw the sword, they were overcome with pity. Bruno was good and innocent. Instead of him, they killed a deer, took out its eyes and tongue to carry to the count as a false token, and said to the boy, "Run, son, and never return to these lands, for your head will roll." Chapter 2. The Curse of the Dogzung. Bruno wandered 4 days through the wilderness, eating berries and sleeping under the open sky. After some time, he reached a huge, gray fortress that looked abandoned and eerie. He asked for a night's lodging from the lord of the fortress. The lord looked at him with pity and said, "You can stay, but only if you dare to spend the night in the old tower. I warn you, a pack of wild, rabid dogs lives there. They bark and howl without stopping, and every few hours a living man must be given to them to be devoured. The whole district is in mourning because of them. No one can defeat them." Bruno, without fear, replied, "Just let me go to them. Give me some food that I can throw to them, and do not worry. They will do nothing to harm me." Since he himself insisted, they gave him meat and locked him in the tower. As soon as he entered, the dogs, instead of attacking him, began to wag their tails. They ate from his hand and lay down at his feet. The next morning, everyone was shocked to see Bruno alive and smiling. He said to the Lord, "The dogs have told me, in their own language, why they are here. They are bewitched and forced to guard a vast cursed treasure hidden deep beneath the tower. They can have no rest until that gold is taken away and divided among the poor. I know how to do it." Bruno went down, brought out the chest full of gold, and divided it among the people. At that moment, the dogs disappeared like smoke, and the land was freed. The lord of the fortress wanted to adopt him, but Bruno felt that his destiny lay elsewhere. Chapter 3. The prophecy of the frogs. Bruno decided to travel east, toward the lands where the sun first rises. As he passed by a large marshy area, he stopped to listen to the frogs. Their croaking was loud and unusual. As he listened to them, his face became increasingly serious and even sad. His companion asked him what he had heard, but Bruno only replied, "I heard something that seems impossible, but destiny cannot be avoided." The frogs told him that in the distant land of the sun, the old kingdom was left without its righteous king, and that the people were suffering under the terror of greedy noblemen. They prophesied that he, the rejected son of the count, would be the one to crown a new era of peace. After a long journey, Bruno reached the capital of that distant land, just as a great assembly was being held. The people and the noblemen had agreed. The new king would be the one who received a heavenly sin. As Bruno stood in the crowd, 2 snow-white doves flew down from the heavens and perched directly on his shoulders. They began to whisper in his ear in the language of the birds that he had learned from the second master. Chapter 4. The new king of the East. The people, seeing this magical sight, fell to their knees. Bruno was proclaimed the king of that distant land. He became a powerful and righteous ruler who knew how to listen not only to people, but to nature as well. The doves remained with him forever, sitting on his throne and advising him on how to make the right decisions. Under his rule, the kingdom flourished. The villagers had rich harvests, because Bruno knew when the birds announced rain, and the traders were safe because the dogs warned them of dangers on the roads. News of this wise king eventually reached his father, the old count in Europe. The count, now old and lonely, with his estates crumbling due to his greed, set out on a journey to see the miracle king. When he arrived at the palace and saw his son on the throne, he fell to his knees, weeping and begging for forgiveness. Bruno looked at him, but there was no hatred in his heart. "Father," he said, "you sent me to learn languages that you considered useless, but it was those very languages that opened the door to the wisdom of the world for me. Stand up, I forgive you, but remember, the greatest stupidity is to think you know everything while not listening to the voice of the creatures around you." The old count remained to live as an ordinary advisor to his son, finally realizing that wisdom is not in the sword and gold, but in understanding the secrets of life. And so, Bruno ruled for many years, and his name remained written in the legends as the king who understood the world better than anyone else. If you like this video, please subscribe and like it, so we can make more videos like this.